ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय। हरि ओम। We will read verse number 34 and then 35. आहस्फुटं तत्त्वमसीति वेदः तथाप्यसम्प्राप्य परात्मनिष्ठां भूयो विचारो मतिदुर्बलत्वं तत्सर्वदा स्वात्मतया हि भाति। न वेद्म्यहं मामुत वेद्म्यहं माम् इति प्रवादो मनुजस्य हास्यः। दृग्दृश्यभेदात् किमयं द्विधात्मा स्वात्मैकतायां हि धियां न भेदाः। स्वात्मैकतायां हि धियां न भेदाः। So in verse number 34, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says that all Vedas, they very clearly say that you are that Brahman, that thou art. Prajnanam Brahma, that pure consciousness is Brahman. Both of them, they are not two different separate entities. Oneness has been pointed out again and again, and especially in all four great statements, this identity has been revealed. But Bhagavan says, even after listening to these statements and these discourses on this oneness of Atma and Brahman, seeker doesn't get abidance in this reality or in this truth. Why? What is the reason? What is the cause of not getting abidance in this reality? Why he can't appreciate this thought that Atman is all-pervading Supreme Brahman? Why he is stuck to his smallness of self? So the reply, the answer has been given by Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, and he says, Mati Durbalatva. It is the weakness of his mind. Nothing other than that can be the cause of not getting abidance in the self. Weakness, that mind is not strong enough to assimilate or digest this knowledge. Like when body is weak, then we are unable to digest food. We cannot understand so many things. So when Mati is not matured enough, when Mati is not sukshma, intellect is not subtle and not pure, then this happens. So now what is the solution for this? So he himself says, Bhuyah vichara. Again and again you listen to these statements, and again when you contemplate upon this thought, then slowly that thought will become one with you, and this oneness will be experienced by you. And then there won't be any doubt about Brahman or Atman. Very clearly he will see that. So the only upaya or solution is repetition. Bhuya vichara. And in our, if you see, in our external world, worldly things, there also, how they become specialized in particular field, how they become expert in different fields. Hard work. Hard work means what? Again and again doing that. Bhuya. Bhuya, here it is said vichara. Again and again think. Because it is related with knowledge. But in the field of sports and other science and all that, again and again they have to do experiment. So this repetition will make things easy, and then one gets hold of it, one gets the clarity about that particular thing, and then he can abide in that thing. So bhuya vichara. Then in the next verse he says, people talk about this self and they say that I know myself very well. I don't know myself. Some people say I know, some people say I don't know. Na vedmi aham, meaning I know not myself. Na vedmi aham, I don't know myself. Uta, or they say vedmi aham mam, means I know myself. So people discuss and they give such statement. I know myself, I don't know myself, I know little bit about myself, I know vaguely about myself. Like that, they make this self as an object of knowledge. Now listen to it very carefully. Raman Maharshi says, it is a laughable thing when we say that I know or I don't know myself. Why it is laughable? Why it is not right? First of all, you must know that this is not the truth. That if somebody is saying I know myself, therefore he says laughable. Laughable means what? It is wrong. Foolishness. It is misunderstanding, wrong understanding. No, but why are you saying so? Because drugdrishya bhedat kimayam dvidhatma. Because is this self twofold? Do you want to say that Atma is divided into two parts? One is knower and other is known. How one self can be divided into two? Is it not foolishness if you do so? So division is not possible, and therefore this knowing is not possible. See, I can know a thing which is different from me, which is other than me. I can know it or I cannot know it. I may have knowledge of that object, I may have ignorance of that object. That which is other than me. I know this book, I do not know this book. I know Sanskrit, somebody say I don't know. I know Hindi, somebody say no, I know Sanskrit. I don't know English. Like that, knowing and not knowing is possible when that object of knowledge is other than me. I know that country, I know that house, I know that person, or I do not know that person. So things and objects can become object of knowledge. I can perceive them, I can understand, misunderstand. I can misunderstand a rope, rope for a snake. I am confused about my goal of life. Should I do this or should I not do that? So like this, so many thoughts can be possible which are related with object. But this self never becomes object of knowledge. It is never become drishya. See, there is a division, drishya and drashta, seer and seen. Seer can never become seen. See, I can see through eyes all other things which is other than eyes, but I cannot see my eye. Same eye cannot become seer and seen. I can see one eye with other eye, that is possible. I will take out this eye and I can see this by this eye. But same eye at the same time can never become seer and seen both. Same law is applicable in the case of self also. Self is the knower, drashta of all the thoughts. Thoughts which are continuously coming and going, rising and falling in this mind. And I am aware of that. So drishya is all the thoughts and drashta is me. In Druk Drishya Vivek, same thought has been given. Rupam drishyam, lochanam druka, tad drishyam drukta manasam. Drishyadhivruttaya sakshi drugeva natu drishyate. Same line. Drugeva natu drishyate. Drashta can never become drishya. Different forms and objects can be seen by sense organs. So sense organs are seers. When I go a little deeper into my personality, then mind becomes the seer and all sense organs become the seen. More deep I go, then all the thoughts become seer, drishya, and I become the seer. Now who can see myself? There is nothing other than consciousness. There is nothing beyond this consciousness. So how this consciousness can be seen? Somebody will say, some other consciousness is there that will see this consciousness. This is laughable thing. Then who will see that other consciousness? That will be anavastha dosh. You will not land anywhere. It will be continuously, you have to assume one more consciousness. Unending thing it will be. So drugdrishya bhedan, there is no division possible. So I cannot say that I know or I don't know. Actually, I am self-evident. If someone says I know very well, so that is not a right statement. In Kenopanishad, the discussion comes where one student comes and says to teacher, I know myself very well. I heard your Upadesh. I heard your discourses on this self-knowledge. And now I know myself very well. So teacher smiles and he says, Yadimanyase suvedeti dharam nunanto. If you say that you know yourself very well, means you do not know yourself. Again you go, contemplate, meditate, and think about yourself. Then it is said he goes in a solitary place, then contemplated upon himself, and then comes. And then he says, Naham manye suvedeti, non vedeti vedacha. I don't say that I know myself very well, but at the same time, I don't say that I do not know myself. Meaning, I have understood my true nature. I have seen myself as it is. See, seeing the self means being the self. There is no action of seeing is involved in realization. Self-realization doesn't mean that one day one Atma Tattva will shine in front of my eyes or in the mind. Atma Tattva or this reality or self is formless, colorless. So it will never come in front of your eyes or your sense organs or in front of mind. We have to know this self is myself only, not as an object. It is a subject. So therefore, Drishya Bhedat Kimayam Dvidhatma. There is no division in Atma Tattva. So if I say that I know myself, means I have made that self as an object. If I say that I know myself, means in the name of self, I have seen something else and I mistook it, misunderstood it as self. I see some beautiful thought or quietude of mind I experience and I say, oh, I know myself. There is a peace in that Atma Tattva. That is not the nature of self. One who is experiencing that peace, that is self. So very interesting. Swatmaikatayam hi dhyam na bheda. In the knowledge of oneness of oneself, indeed there are no divisions. No, but then why our scripture says, you must see self, atma avare drashtavya. You must know yourself. So they use this word, you must know, you must see. Actually, their direct meaning is not possible. The implied meaning you have to take. So seeing means what? Being the self. You just be that. That is the force of that statement. When it is say Atma Drashtavya, though the verb is there, verb of seeing, that one must see. See means knowing. And again, knowing doesn't mean mental, some activity will be there or action will be there and then I will know myself. See, if somebody is calling me, okay, or somebody is calling some other person, Ramesh, so he will go there. Suresh, he will go there. But he calls me. And he says, do you know Swamiji? Now what I will say? Yes, I know Swamiji. There is no need to say that I know Swamiji. I am Swamiji. If somebody says, Ramesh, you know? Yes, I know. Suresh, you know? No, I don't know. Swamiji, now no need to say that I know. Because I am. Then what will be my answer? I am Swamiji. Are you getting this point? So something other than me can be known, or I cannot know that. Or I will know 50%, 20%, like that. Vaguely I know. But in the knowledge of self, there is no divisions. So therefore, if someone says that I know or I do not know, it is laughable. Now, in the next verse, in the verse number 36, he says that people keep on arguing about self. They are very fond of, discussion and arguments about the self. So here, Ramana Maharshi doesn't like that. He says, they don't abide in the self. They don't absorb that idea fully and go deep and try to see that. Instead of that, they go on talking only. Verbal discussion happens. And by that, there won't be any benefit. They will not be benefited by mere intellectual discussion. Better than that, try to abide in the self. Now see. Ratprapya saddhama nijaswarupe swabhava siddhe nupalabhya nishtam maya vilasas sadasat sarupa virupananaika mukha pravada ratprapya saddhama nijaswarupe स्वभाव सिद्धे नुपलभ्य निष्ठाम माया विलास सदसत् स्वरूप विरेक विरूपनानैक मुख प्रवादा. Now he says ऋत प्राप्य सद्धम. He says the abode of truth is there in the heart. Rit. Reaching the heart, one must abide in the truth, because truth is residing in the heart. In the previous verse, also in earlier verse, Ramana Maharshi says, this Atma is called as Rit. Why? Because Atman is available for realization. Where? In the heart only. Therefore, all saints and sages, they say, Bhitar dekho, go within, see in your heart. So, if somebody contemplate and meditate and realizes that Brahman is me or Atman is me, then that is actually the vision of truth. That is Saddarshan. That is the thing one must do, one must experience. But there are people, Anupalabhya Nishtam, in the second line he says, not getting abidance in the self, which is self-evident, Swabhava Siddhe. Atman is Brahman, Atman is Sat. It is very, very, self-evident, nothing you have to do. You have to just go within. You don't have to make that Atman as Sat or consciousness or Brahman. It is very much there. Just you have to abide in that. Establish yourself in that. But instead of doing that, what people do? They go on arguing. And what is the topic of their argument? Atman is one or Atman are many. Atman is real, Sat or Asat, real or unreal. Or Sarupa, Virupa, with form or without form. Nana, Eka, many or one. So there are different philosophers, different thinkers. They go on talking about this self in this fashion. Means always there will be difference of opinion. Somebody says Atman is one. Say no. As many people, so many Atman. Some people say Atman is with form. It is Saguna, Sakar. Then somebody asks, what is the size of that Atman? So other person says, it is equal to the size of his body. In the ant, Atman is form of ant. In the elephant, Atman is also of the size of elephant. Some people say Atma is atomic. It is the size of atom. Some people say, no, self is formless, colorless. Some people say, no, I have seen Atman. One blue flame like that, there was one flame, which is of the blue color, red color. So like that, various opinions about this Atma is there. See, all this discussion is possible if you want to know it, honestly, genuinely. But just for the sake of discussion and trying to defeat other person by your logical, arguments, so that is not good. In our scripture, there is a place for logic and reasoning, but it must lead to realization. But people derive pleasure and happiness by arguing because they get that satisfaction. See, I know more than that person. I have defeated him. So there is a joy of victory in that discussion. That is not the purpose of Shastrartha or argument or discussion. It must lead us to self-realization. Yes, it is a means. It is definitely very helpful. But only discussion. Therefore he says, Hritprapya Saddhama Nijaswarupa, not having gain abidance in one's true nature. Then what is the use? And he said, Saddhama. This Sat is like Dham, abode of truth. People go to Char Dham, Badri Dham, Kailash Dham, Kedarnath Dham, so many Dham, they are outside. People are fond of that. But they will never sit and meditate. The same Bhagavan which was there in the temple, it is here. So Saddham they don't see. They are extrovert. And other people, they are very intellectuals. In Vivek Chudamani, Shankaracharya says, Vag Vaikhari Shabdadhari Shastra Vyakhyan Kaushalam Vaidushyam Vidusham Tattvat Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye. People are very good in talking, in speaking about this Atman. They have got that art of speaking, oratory. They have got that knowledge, how to speak, how to utter the words and how to impress others. So he says, by that you will become famous. You will get all worldly things, but not liberation. Bhuktaye natu muktaye. So therefore, one must try to abide in that, try to experience that rather than only verbal, discussion. So, very nice point for all the seekers. In our camps also we see that group discussion, one of the activities is what? Group discussion. Now some people, they don't like it. They say, we ourselves don't know how can we discuss. So first we must do enough listening, then we will have discussion. In the same camp, in the same group, there are people, they are fond of discussion. They get chance, to speak. I think in their house, nobody listens to them. So they get chance here. Yes, I will speak and there are many listeners. Jokingly I am saying. So point is, they like to speak. So it is good. There is nothing wrong in that. But again, it is only for impressing other person if you are doing, then that is not right. Okay, so here Ramana Maharshi is guiding us that why one must discuss, what should be the purpose, where this discussion should lead us to. That should be seen. Okay, today we'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.